Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to another episode of American Midwest. And you can see we have a new shiny toy. Bought the Grimmer Beet and Spud pallet making conveyor belt here. We're going to take this up to our animal farm where we have all those beets piled up on the ground. We're going to pallet those, and then the remainder of those beets. In fact, actually, while I'm here, I'm going to need some pallet forks as well. Just realised about that. So, because I didn't think about it, I should have actually disconnected our bucket. But I can get away with it because I can store our bucket, hopefully, inside the back of our conveyor. And then I can hook back up to it once we're done. Oh yeah, look at that. That sits in there perfectly. So let's just drop that off. Let's buy some pallet forks. And we'll go with... Let's try these ones out again. I've tried these before, but they didn't work because I bought them for wall pallets. And they didn't really work. But what I'm going to try this time is this, so that we can actually hopefully stack our beet pallets too high. This will be very useful in allowing us to do that, if my theory is correct. If not, well then I've just paid quite a bit of money for a pair of pair of pallet forks that I didn't really need to spend all that money on. But we'll see what happens. I can't remember how it was to actually connect. There we go, close cover. That's what we're looking for. So we need this out the way, so we'll just have it hooked up on the front like this. Let's back our tractor up. There we go. And now let's make our way back up to our animal farm. We can start palleting up those beets. And anything that's a little bit too much, if it gets a little bit too laggy with too many pallets, we can always store some of those beets in our storage depot, which is just back over there. So I will see you in a moment when we get back to the farm. And here we are, back at the farm. Take it slow over the bump, don't want to lose the pallet off the end there. These are very thin, spindly forks, so things do tend to slide around a bit, as you can see. Not the greatest, but not a lot we can do about that, really. It's either that or we have pallets that stick way too much. So let's put the pallet maker just there, I think. Now I need somewhere to store this. And I think somewhere over here is probably the right thing to do. Just for now, I'm going to stick it just here, but I may well end up moving it. Actually, no, if we can stick it right here, that will actually work quite nicely. Yeah, beautiful. Alright, so I need the buckets first of all. So let's drop the forks just there. Just reconnect the bucket. Oops. This could be tricky. There we go. And let's shovel in some beets. Now I think that holds around, is it 14 or 16,000? Let's have a look. 16,000, so that's 4 buckets effectively of beets. There we go, you can see it starting to fill up. I think the bucket's at the wrong angle. There we go, that's better. Getting in there and scooping up those beets. I haven't really used this pallet making conveyor since the game first came out either. This is something I kind of tried out just out of curiosity and never really bothered with it after that, so it might take me a little while to get used to using this thing because I haven't used it in almost a year. And even when I did use it, I didn't really use it that much. I'm not picking up any beets here. Ah, bucket's at the wrong angle, no wonder. Alright, let's try and pick up some of these loose bits around the edges. There we go. I think this is bucket number 4, isn't it? Let's see. Back up just a touch, we should be able to connect. There we go. So, what do I need to do? I need to lower the belt. Enable pallet creation, yes. Oh, and there we go. Instantly. So, can I disconnect? And it will keep going? Yes, I can. Excellent. So let's drop the bucket. Let's grab our forks, because we're going to need to move that first pallet out of the way. Right, so close cover. I want that there. Now, this is going to be an interesting and potentially tricky job. It's not automatically... Oh, there we go. There's the second one. Whoop. Yeah, see what I mean about these being very loose pallet forks. In fact, I wonder if I can get in sideways on these because they are quite narrow. Let's test that while that pallet's being created. No. So I should... there we go. Oh wow, we can get that really high. So that means we can actually potentially move multiple pallets all at once. Oh, these forks really are not good when it comes to small pallets like this. They really are not good. This is going to take some getting used to, I think. Alright, so we're lifted. Let's stack these out the way. Let's see if I can line this one up. This is where it's going to get tricky. It'd be useful if I had a guiding system of some kind, something to line these up against. Maybe I need to stack them against the wall. Although that looks pretty good. Quite pleased with that. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. That's looking very good. Slightly off center, but I'm not too worried about that just yet. Let's move this one out of the way. There's the next pallet being made. Oops. Gone in a little bit wonky there. Alright, let's see if I can go 3 high. Or am I pushing my luck here? Probably. Give it a slight nudge. Alright, that's pretty good. So, I just want to see. That's as high as I can go. Can I grab 3? Ooh, don't want to knock these and knock them over. Oh. Got to be careful when I clamp down on these things, or else it's going to cause some issues. And now I need the weight. Alright, let's go grab the weight. So, they work, but they are a little bit temperamental, very fussy. Things have to be lined up just so. That's something we're going to have to be very wary of going forward, I think. And is this weight at the back going to be heavy enough as well? I guess we'll find out in just a second. Wow, look at that. You can see it lurching the tractor forward. Even with weighted wheels and a rear weight. It still lurches us forward, look. Wow. So I need somewhere to store these. I can't store them there because that's where the wall pallets will get created when we start getting wool. So I guess in here is where we're going to do it. There's no square edge in here, which is a bit of a shame. Ooh, I figure in here is as good a place as any. Oh, we're in danger of losing these beets. I really want a solid object to be able to push up against with these. Let's have a think. I'm going to have a think about this and I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so in order to streamline production a little bit, I've brought the dump trailer over. As you can see, that's all loaded up, ready to go. I've also brought all of the beets out because where we were storing the beets on the ground is where I'm going to store the pallets on the ground instead. There's a square wall that's solid enough, square enough and high enough for us to actually push these pallets into position. Going to be a little bit tricky getting them lined up initially. but we can actually just use the forks to slide them in and push them flush like that. That is the general plan, so we'll see how it goes this time out. And then being able to retrieve 3 pallets at a time will make it useful if we need to load them up for a trailer of some kind, or if we want to just take 3 pallets over to our pig trough and drop them in that way. So the next pallet should start being made. There we go. Now I need to make sure this is high enough. The problem with these forks is they're quite long. And that's not flush. Been toying with the idea of a skid steer for up here, but we should be able to get away with just using, as long as we're careful, the Puma should work for everything up here. There's no point in buying a skid steer just for a couple of pallets when our Puma will be doing everything else. And don't forget as well, even though we could potentially fit one of these to a skid steer, there's no way it could cope with the weight of 3 pallets. So it'd be kind of pointless. I mean, we could lift 2 at a time, but I don't want to lift 3 at a time. That is the capacity of this fork. Oops. There we go. So this is the tricky bit, getting it lined up perfectly, or perfectly enough, close enough. It can go in at a slight angle, that's fine, but it needs to go in pretty close and sit pretty flush. I don't want to knock like I just have done, if I can get away with it, because I can always just push it flat like that. There we go. So it's slow going, but it's steady going. We'll have our beets all lined up along there. So I'm going to carry on doing this to get rid of the rest of these. I'll also keep an eye on the lag. Once we start getting lots of pallets there, hopefully it won't be too bad. And I will join you again once we are pretty much finished with this. And there we go, just a little partial box there to finish off the beets. So let's disable Pallet Creation. This little part pallet I'm just going to go and quickly feed to the pigs. See, we've already got 18 pallets stacked up in there quite nicely. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Hopefully the pigs will need just a little bit top up. So we do have this part pallet here which is just kind of sitting here doing nothing. There we go, yes. So I've just got those last few pallets that need to be stacked. How many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pallets left. I'm going to need the rear weight. I did try loading with the dump truck, but unfortunately it wouldn't let me do it. So yeah, that was kind of a waste of time bringing it over in some respects. But at least I know for future that I can't use the dump trailer to load beets into the conveyor belt there. So now comes the tricky bit of stacking these up, because the forks, if I can show you, stick out at the back. So this could potentially make it quite awkward when it comes to unloading in the future. Hopefully it won't be too bad. As long as I remember and I'm careful, I shouldn't end up trying to lift up too many pallets at once and causing the whole stack to fall over. Oop. You're not paying attention to where I'm going there. Let's see if I can drop this in next door. Looking pretty good. There we go, nice and flush. Just got to be careful as well that pushing those in doesn't cause any adverse movement in the stack behind. Did see it just shift ever so slightly there as I pushed those up. So I'm going to finish these last few pallets, and then when they're done we shall move on to something a little different. And that's it, that's the last of the pallets. So, I don't need this. Drop that there. Where we will need it, let's drop off the front loader arms. There we go. And now we have a delivery to make. We need to go and take the conveyor belt all the way down to the grain farm. Not the grain farm, sorry, the beet storage area where it's going to live from now on. Going forward, we can always just pallet up any beets we need at that depot and then bring them up on a trailer. Which I think is something we need to buy, actually. I think we need a new low loader. Oh no, I've got one, haven't I? I've got that one there. I forgot I'd replaced it. So, yeah, going forward, any beets I need I can pallet up and then bring up here, and then I can unload off the back of the trailer using the Puma and then feed them to the pigs as and when they're needed. So let's go get this delivered, and I will catch you again in just a moment. So I brought the Puma and the bale trailer down to the main farm here, giving the Puma a bit of a clean as well, because it needed it. It was pretty filthy. And now it's time for us to do some baling. So for this, we're going to need the Optum. And we're going to need our square baler. go. And this is another piece of equipment I haven't used that often. The Kuhn branded square baler, the one from the Kuhn DLC pack. Simply because ever since the Quadra pack 4-bale stacker came out, I've tended to go with that, and it needed a baler that had a rear hitch. And so as a result, this baler pretty much never ever got used. But it's time to correct that. It's time to give it a run out on this farm, seeing as we're doing manual stacking. There we go, looks like we got everything. Excellent. So off we go. I'll spit some bales out, and I want to test the theory of selling these at the incinerator. These should now effectively go through without any issue whatsoever. Oh, but we did have that issue. People have been saying that they weren't able to tip, weren't they? So what I'm going to do is we're going to test this, and we're going to put this to bed once and for all. Let's save our game file so I can roll back to this point if I need to. Just checking my finances. My loan is fully maxed out, which is not good. So we'll leave this here on this field. Let's just grab the Puma. This'll do. I'm going to grab the loading wagon, and we're going to see if we can actually tip some of that straw in. And if it doesn't work, well, I'll simply reload back to where we were just a second ago, and we'll try the next test. So I just need a little bit of straw here. So I need to lower, turn on, there we go. We don't need a huge amount, that'll do. Oops, turn the engine off. So we've got this tiny little bit of straw in the back here, but that's all we need. Because people have been saying that they haven't been able to tip into the incinerator. So we're going to try and tip into the incinerator and see whether or not that the recent patch has fixed that issue. Let's see what happens. Of course, if I can reverse in a straight line, that would be good. There we go. So we get up the ramp. Let's spin the camera around. Can I get a decent view? There we go. That's kind of not bad. And let's see what happens. Well, it's not giving me the unload symbol. So, yeah, straight away I can tell, because you can see the unload command is not popping up. I'm pressing the unload option and nothing is happening. I know without even needing to test that if I try and tip that in manually like this, that it's not going to do anything. I just know that because there was no unload symbol popping up. So I'm not even going to shove a load of straw down there that I can't get out, or force myself to have to roll the save back. There is no point to that whatsoever. Just driving up and not getting the unload symbol was all the proof I needed that that was not a viable option. However, I have heard that you can... I think I just bumped our grain auger square again. Yes, I did. I bumped it through the wall. I have heard that using a bucket will allow you to tip loose material in there. Now, we do have a loose bucket just over here. I think we have a loose bucket. We certainly have a beet bucket. I don't know if we have a standard bucket or not. No, just the beet bucket, and I don't think that will actually accept loose straw. Which is the one that we have? This one here, bucket with grabber. Oh no, it will. This one will take everything. Awesome. I thought for a minute we got just a Beets bucket, but this is actually a multi-purpose bucket. So let's grab... Oops. Move the camera so I can see what I'm doing. Let's grab the bucket. And let's go grab some straw. And let's see if we can actually tip in. Oh, this thing's big. The size of this bucket. Look at those teeth on it as well. The thing looks vicious. So that's that bit of straw there. Let's attack this bit here as well. Can we get it all in? It's going to be close. Oh, just look at that. All right, so let's see if we can tip manually with a bucket. Now, in theory, yes, we can. And look, you can see our money is going up. There's no animation, but we did see a little bit of movement on the money, and there you can see we have $213. So you can tip in manually with a bucket. So the last remaining task is whether or not we can do it with a bale. And I kind of hope we can, because otherwise we're in trouble. Let's see, where's the first bale? This is the first bale. We should, in theory, be able to grab this with this bucket. Look at that. We spiked it. It's kind of sitting through the bucket a little bit there, but yeah, that's fine. So this is the next part of our incinerator test. Can we sell bales? We should be able to, and if we can't, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed and a little frustrated as well. Yes, we can, and we got $295 for that bale. So now we know. It is impossible to tip in using a trailer. You can tip in with a bucket, and you can sell bales. Incinerator test complete. Let's put this back on the top here. Let's grab our bale spike. We're going to need this to load our bale trailer. And let's get this onto the field along with the Puma, ready to start loading, and then we'll simply bale up the rest of the field. Now I kind of hoped that we would have enough on there to raise enough money to buy the next thing I wanted to get, but I don't think we're going to be able to make enough money. I mean, there's still a fair amount of straw here. Oh, excuse me. I've been trying to stifle that cough for a couple of minutes now. I was hoping to be able to buy something, but I just don't think we're going to be able to afford it. Time will tell, I suppose, but I'm going to carry on baling this field up, then we'll bring the bale trailer up, and we'll get all these bales stacked. We'll sell them off, see how much money we have, and then potentially we could always sell a little bit of that silage that we have as well, just to raise the last little bit of funds. So I'm going to carry on baling, and I'll catch up with you in just a moment. One thing I really appreciate about this baler is just how wide that pickup is. And we didn't leave any straw behind there as we went over that mound at the end of the pass, or the start of the pass. And bar the odd little bit, like that bit there where we had a huge pile where the combine had stopped mid pass because it had filled up, and you got a little clump over there where I was getting a wide shot and I wasn't paying attention to which direction I was travelling. I haven't missed anything at all. Just those little bits, as I say, from those wide shots where I've drifted and not paid attention. It's such a nice baler to use, it really is. I don't know why I haven't used this more often. Well, I do know why I haven't used it more often, but I should have used this more often because it's a great baler. I mean, just look at the size of that pickup there, it's huge. Absolutely massive. So it's just picking up everything off the field. Even there, we're drifting a little bit. You can see how wide it is. It's just covering everything with no hassle whatsoever. Let's check it on this clump here. Let's attack that nice and center on. Boom. The whole thing. Nothing spilled either side, which is unusual. You try and do that in a forage wagon, especially our Lely forage wagon, and you're going to leave bits behind. With this, no problem whatsoever. Now you might think this is it, this is the last of the straw, but don't forget we had that very thin strip that popped up on that final pass just here in the grass. It's a little hard to see if I turn the lights off. No, it doesn't really make it any easier to see, but it's there. I mean, you can see it. That makes it easier to see. You've got this line of straw that runs all the way up the side of the field. It's very, very thin, so we're only going to get 1 or 2 bales off this. You see how much slower it's moving on the count there. But once this bit's done, that will then finally be the last of the straw. And then it'll be time to stack all of these bales, take them over to the incinerator and sell them off. And hopefully, I mean, there's a lot of bales on the field. You see just how many we've made. Each bale's worth, what, $295? So I want around about 10 grand. That's how much I need to be able to buy what I want to buy. So that means I need, around 35 bales. Is that right? That can't be right. Let me break out the calculator here because my brain isn't working at the moment. 295. Let's say no. Let's cancel that. Let's go 10,000. Divided by 295. I need, well, yeah, I wasn't far off actually. 33.89 bales. So I need 34 bales effectively. Well, there's more than 34 bales here on the farm, on the field. Easily more than 34 bales. So, yeah, I should be able to make my 10 grand. Which means I'll be able to buy the item that I'm after. Which is awesome. Right, let's put the baler away. Just sneak through here. There we go. That's such a nice baler. It really is. I really enjoyed using that. I think I may have to use that on another farm in the future. Right, so we don't need the Optum anymore. So we'll park this up. There we go. Right, so we do need the Puma with the bale trailer. 35 bales. Can I stack 35 bales on one of these trailers? Probably not. It's probably pushing it a little bit. And I might need to remove the creels as well. Yeah, let's take the creels off. I think it might be a little bit easier if we don't have those on there. So back off the field we go. To our little workshop area. There's our toolbox. And let's remove the creels. There we go. Hey, we didn't get charged. That's why I bought the toolbox. Pay £1,000 every time, or pay 1,500 once and never pay £1,000 again. It's not really much of a not really much of a comparison, not really much of a contest in that situation. It's do I want to continue paying forever, or do I want to pay once and never pay again? I think I'll pay once and never pay again. Thank you very much. Alright, so we'll plonk that there. Let's hop into... Oh, I left the engine running. Oh, that was careless. I haven't tried stacking square bales individually for quite some time. So this could go well, this could go very, very wrong. But I want to see, first of all, if I can do this. Can I spike each bale and keep them pretty flush? If I can, it will make loading the bale trailer a little bit easier. But I am a little concerned that the spikes won't go in far enough to keep these bales stable. Well, we seem to be okay so far. A little bit of a wobble. Yeah, that's worked out quite nicely actually. Of course, when we start getting higher, that's going to be a little bit more tricky. But for right now, that's worked really well. So that's how we're going to load them. So let's grab the next bale. And spike that up to another one. Try and get them to sit square with each other. They look pretty flush. Oops. Just give them a little nudge. There we go. I love having forks that fold up like that. That's such a useful little tool. Give them a spike, lift, and over to the trailer. Now, will it only take 5, or can I get away with 6? I might, possibly, if I'm lucky, be able to get away with 6. Oops, need a bit more height. I also want to make sure that I don't nudge that bale there. Like that, to try and get nice and tight up against it. Beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, we can get 2 more on there, I'm pretty sure of it. So I'm certainly not going to get 35, but if I can go 3 stacks, I think 3 stacks will be enough. That'll be 18 bales per trailer. So 2 trailer loads will get me the number of bales I need to raise the amount of money I need, and then everything else on top of that will be bonus money. Get them spiked, lift up. Let's get some lights on. Look at that, just hanging off the back of the trailer like that there. This is why I decided removing the creels would be the right option. Just fits on beautifully, look at that. Alright, so strap that one down. I better strap that one down as well, actually, because that's right on the edge as well. Alright, I'm going to continue stacking, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. And there we go, that's a nice triple stack there. I don't think we need to go any higher, there's no point. 18 bales like that is more than enough, I think. So we'll get the turbo farmer over here, next to the incinerator. And let's bring the Puma over, see how much the trailer wobbles. A little bit, but that's not too bad. Those bales are nice and secure. Although they do look like they're sliding just a touch. At least that rear stack does anyway. I don't know, maybe it's just the light. Okay, so let's remove the straps, engine off. Time to start selling some bales. So I need 10 grand. So that's 2 of these trailers. Whoops, bit of a wobble. That's the first 2 of many. Let's see if I can be a little bit more ambitious. Can I take 4? Ooh, it's a little bit more of a balancing act this time. Certainly wouldn't want to stack like this, but when it comes to unloading and selling, 4 we can manage 4. I'm not going to go for the triple crown. I'm not going to go for 6. That would be a little bit too excessive, I think. Let's have another go at 4 again. Went in at an angle this time, so they're not quite flush. As long as we're careful with our movements, we'll be fine. Oh, one's escaping. There we go. I do really like using this little Merlot turbo farmer. It's a cracking little telehandler mod, and I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't yet tried it. Two more to go, and then this trailer is done already. And yeah, well, look, we're already halfway there financially. That's it. That's a full trailer sold. Right, back to the field we go. That's the financial point I needed to hit. It's got 2 bales left on this trailer. Unloading on this one hasn't gone quite so smoothly as the last time, but they're all in. They're all been sold. So there we go. We have 47,000. So it's time to buy the final item that I was planning to buy for a little while, and that is this. I did seriously consider buying this, the Q-Big liner, but in the end I decided to go with this. It's another thing for our truck to do. So we're going to mark it up into the right colours. We'll go with wide tyres, keep the grey rims. We're going to go with a colour design, and look at that. Well, we needed 47,000, just enough. $208 left, and this is why the truck is parked here, so that we can immediately collect it. And it gives me something else to do with this truck, as I say. So it makes it a little bit more viable. Plus, it's a little bit faster than running a tractor up and down to our animal farm. And now I have a portable slurry transport, 30,000 litres rather than 32,000 litres if I'd gone with a Q-Big. But it's still a pretty good size. And at 42 miles an hour, definitely faster than running, you know, our Optum at 32, or something like our Terra variant at 26. It's definitely faster to move that slurry back and forth to our portable tanks that we have buried underground on the main farm. So we're going to get these filled in position. I'll finish the rest of the baling off camera as well, and then the next day we will start cultivating and planting some radish again in preparation for the next round of crops on those first 3 fields, as our 2 canola fields grow closer and closer to completion. So thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I will catch you back with another episode of American Midwest very soon.